Welcome to Stuck in My Mind podcast, the show where we dive into the mind of a regular guy on his road to self-discovery. You'll hear everyday people just like you share the latest topics, personal stories, and things they've learned along the way. And now, please welcome your host, Wise.
And welcome to another episode. I am your host, W-I-Z-E, and I have a very special guest. He's actually he's a husband, a father, a real estate investor, but he has a great story to share. He was a regular person like everyone else, started as a plant manager. Welcome to the show, Sean O'Rourke.
What's up? What's up? Thanks for having me on, man.
Man, it's a pleasure's all mine. It's always good to speak to someone who comes from the working class, realizes that working for someone else isn't really what they want to do. Venture off into your own business and become very successful at it, man. Tell us the story. Tell us how you came to realize that's what you want to do.
Yeah. I think a lot of times people, even when you're young, there's a lot of people that want various different things, right? And a lot of people out there have hustle, but they don't know how to hustle, or they don't know what right type of hustle they need to go after, right? And I think that's why sometimes you see people that get off in the wrong things is because they've got the entrepreneurship and they've got the hustle, but they don't know the avenue to go. And so that was me. I mean, like I was a young guy, even as a kid. My father was a sales rep for a company and a regional sales guy. So he trained people and I was around people that were highly successful when I was younger, and I would ask them questions. And the big thing that stuck out to me in my life was these guys that had these multi-million-dollar businesses would say, if you're ever going to make any money, you have to work for yourself. You can't work for somebody else. And, and that kind of stuck with me. When my father passed away, once I was 17, passed away, I dropped out of high school, started, drinking and partying and trying to drown all my mess out, right? Life happened. It was hard. And I moved around, traveled around, tried to do the right thing, but I couldn't. It was a struggle. One day I just kind of woke up and I was like, man, what am I doing? Like, I'm a mess. I've got to change. Something's got to change. And so I went up to a local community college and applied to get my GED. Got my GED. I went and got a 2-year degree, had a free ride because, my mom didn't make any money. I mean, like if I had LA Gears, I was cool, right? I couldn't afford the Nikes. We were broke. And so I went to community college, got a 2-year degree, an electrical degree, but I always had that hustle. So then when I started working, I started realizing, okay, I'm not going to make the money I want to make just working. So I've got to do something else. So on the side, I would go buy, a dirt bike that needed a little bit of work. And I would watch videos on how to fix this, that, and the other. And then I would fix it and then I'd flip it. And, and I did that, but like, I also didn't understand money at that point. So like I would flip it and then I'd take that money and just go do what I wanted to with it, thinking I'm making myself happy. And so that went on for a while. And I was, I'd kind of progressed relatively quickly in manufacturing. So I started out as a maintenance guy with an electrical degree and then went into, become a maintenance manager. And then I was a maintenance manager over 4 different plants in the here locally. Furniture's big. So I was a maintenance manager over 4 different plants. I was probably 24, 25 maybe at that time. And then, and so really I was faking it till I made it, honestly, because a lot of times I didn't know everything that I thought I needed to know to be there, but I acted like I did. And that sold myself to them so that they realized this guy's no joke. He'll do what he says he's going to do. And so getting into, another style of manufacturing, I went in, I was a maintenance manager, changed jobs. I always went up, in my job progression. I went to another maintenance manager position, but making more money. And one day my operations manager come to me and he's like, hey, I'm leaving. I'm going to another plant. You've got a 2-week crash course on how to be a plant manager here. And I was like, what? And so what ended up happening was the plant was actually going under. Like they were going to shut the plant down because they weren't making any money. And my operations manager was taking a hike going to a plant that was going to stay open. I didn't know that at the time. So like, here it is, I'm crash coursing, boom, boom, boom. This is what I got to do. Well, a year and a half goes by. We're making money. Like we turned it around, and the place stayed open. And that was a proud moment. I was 30 years old, and was able to turn a plant all the way around. And anyway, but with all that being said, it all comes back to that hustling mindset, right? Like believing in myself, knowing that I can do it even if I don't know how to do it. And but I didn't like it. I didn't like manufacturing. I had 4 kids. I was pissed off every day when I got home. I gained a whole bunch of weight because I was stress eating. It was highly stressful. I was working 12, 14-hour days. Like it wasn't an easy thing to do. And I hated it, man. I mean, I hated my job and I had to find something different. And so I just stumbled into wholesaling, which blew my mind that I could make money and didn't have to have any money on a real estate transaction, in 5, 10, 15, $20,000. Now we're hitting $100,000 licks on a real estate transaction. I would have never in my mind would have thought that I could have done that. Right. But I learned it. And so that's kind of where I went. So that's kind of a fast progression or fast timeline. But realistically, the reason I kind of went through it fast like that was ultimately it's all mindset. Like, if you believe in yourself, everything else is going to, and stay consistent, everything else will fall in place, right? You just have to have the willingness to hustle, believe in yourself, and stay consistent.
And so I read that you use YouTube. You really
Yeah.
you and
Watch
that's
YouTube videos.
no, honestly, that's something I do as far as everything, like as far as voice acting, voice, whatever I'm doing, editing for my podcast, video editing, new equipment, new mics. I'm always looking on YouTube to find something I want to try to learn,
Yeah.
basically. And so what you did was you used it to your advantage and learned about real estate and doing wholesaling.
Yep.
And that's amazing because, like you said, it's a mindset.
Yeah.
It's with any, even with what I'm doing. And it's my mindset. I have to believe. I have the utmost faith in myself. I know the work I'm putting into what I'm doing. People, because all right. So for example, people always asking me, "Oh, how's it?" Like they'll ask me, "Oh, how's the podcast going?" But they'll ask me sarcastically, like, Are you successful yet on your podcast?" I'm like looking at them like, "Yo, I'm successful in my heart. I'm enjoying this. This is something I'm doing
Yeah.
that I love to do." And yes, I'm getting recognition. I'm going out. I'm getting sponsors, and for me, I laugh. I enjoy when they do that. I enjoy because I know the work I put into it and
Yeah.
the dedication and the mindset. Because when I first started, it was more me talking about politics and all the new that stuff going on in the news. And I love doing podcasting, but I didn't love that content.
Hmm.
And when I switched it over to me speaking to guests and having them come on and speaking about mindset, like, and having all types of coaches, actors, all types of people from all walks of life. And you come to find and realize that a lot of people at the core value, they are the same,
Yeah.
regardless from where they come from.
Yeah.
And it's all how you perceive things, how you want your life to, like like people get my wife actually tells me, "Oh, you don't care about anything." It's not that I don't care about anything. I just focus on what I care about the most. I'm not gonna be focusing on about what's going on in the news or focusing on what's going on in someone so and so's life. I have to worry about what's going on in my life. I need to focus on controlling doing what I'm doing in my life and where my mindset and making sure that my mind is in the positive direction that I needed to go in.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. And you're talking going back to YouTube. So I'm a full believer that you can learn anything you want to learn in today's culture without any money spent, right? You can get all the free content that you want and learn everything that you need to learn off of social media, YouTube, all what we have at our access on our cell phone. And that's what I did. Initially, man, I learned as much as I could. I like consumed myself. I would lay in bed, my wife and I'd be watching TV, but she's watching TV and I've got an AirPod in my ear and I'm listening to a podcast or I'm listening to a YouTube video or whatever, consuming, so that I understand and I learn it. Right now, moving forward, what happened is once I learned as much as I felt like I could learn off of YouTube and stay motivated, because at a certain point you can demotivate yourself by just consuming. And I didn't want to just consume. I wanted to take action. So I learned as much as I felt like I needed to learn, and then I fell forward. I made a mistake, but I did it. First 2 weeks of out marketing, I got my first 2 deals. Couldn't believe it. Come home, it was proof of concept. I understood at that point then, oh crap, this is real and I can do it. And so once I did that and started understanding, okay, there's a lot of different things that happen transactionally with real estate transactions. I need to understand this more. I'm sold that first house, made $750. Okay, that was my first deal. I paid $1,000 on my credit card to buy a course from a guy that's now my buddy. He had put out a course, and he had been doing real estate forever. Paid him $1,000 on my credit card to go through his course, and I never looked back. From then on, it was just wide open. And the things that now I understand is when you spend money on yourself, that's the most value you're going to get out of any money spent, because the money spent on yourself from learning, getting in rooms with people that are smarter than you, getting in rooms with people that have a lot more money than you, but think in a different mindset than you do, bro, it completely changes everything that you do. Like, I had no idea. I do real estate, but I'm an entrepreneur now. Like I invest in multiple different things. Real estate's a great avenue, and I love real estate. But I put my money in other places too, right? And I never would have done that if I wouldn't have spent 25 grand to be in a room with the mastermind with some people for a weekend or whatever that case may be, right? If I wouldn't have spent that $1,000 on myself after I realized the concept's real and it could really happen, and got around like-minded people that just talk the same. Because any of my friends, they didn't talk like me. They didn't think like me. They weren't listening to things like I was listening to. I needed to be around people that did that. It just invigorated me, made me just ready to go. You know what I mean? So absolutely. I
Oh no,
mean,
I definitely know I definitely know what you mean, because doing the podcast, I am speaking to successful people. I am speaking to people like yourself who are sharing their knowledge with regular folk, regular people. That's what I'm here for. My job is to help pass on this knowledge that you're willing to share. That's what you're here to talk about, and people need to hear your story and realize, listen, he's a regular dude like me.
yeah, absolutely.
He's a hardworking dude, plant manager, bust his ass to get to where he was at.
High
Realized he
school
wasn't happy.
dropout. Yeah,
Yeah,
high school dropout.
he wasn't happy
Crazy.
with wasn't happy with where he was at work, and decided to do something about it.
Yeah,
Yes, everybody's not built to go to college. Let's get that straight.
right.
Everyone's not built to go to college. But you sought to gain knowledge in other ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I tell my kids that too. I've got 4 kids. I've told all of them, y'all don't have to go to college. It's not because I'm going to give them a handout. I got 2 of them that are about to be 15, or 2 of them that are 15, about to be 16, going to need a car, right? I'm not giving them a car. I told them, I was like, we're going to split it. I'll pay for the car. You're paying me back half of it every month. If you don't pay it, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do just like the bank's going to do. I'm coming to collect my car because I own that sucker. You don't own it till you pay for it, you know? It's the same thing though. I'm just teaching them responsibility. I'm teaching them willingness to hustle, right? Get what
Yeah,
they want.
definitely. And right now, like you said, you're not. Yes, you start off in real estate, but you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So you've seen that there's other avenues for. Okay, yeah, I'm doing great in real estate, but I like this also over here. This is
Yeah.
great, and then and that's what an entrepreneur does. They go. If you listen, you're not every business you start is not going to be successful. Let's get that straight.
That's right.
You got to fail a couple of times, but an entrepreneur is going to continue to do it until they hit the right one.
Yep.
And sometimes what it is they don't find they just think they gotta sell everything. No, you have to find where you fit in. What do you want to? What's your passion? What you want to provide to the people? What services is it that you want to provide to the people?
Yeah. Yeah. And
And what you
that's
yeah
key. That's a key point to what you're saying. So the way I live and my motto in my business is care about people and not about profit. Because if you care about people, you'll make money, in anything you do. If you're out there trying to be crooked and you're really not caring about somebody, you might make money at the beginning, but long term, it's not going to be there, you know?
no, it's about listen. I launched the internet radio station within, and my goal is to actually eventually have it live 24 hours, but I'm trying to give people opportunities who want the opportunity, who like they want to be a radio personality or they want to do work behind the scenes. The reason of me starting it was to give these people an opportunity. It's
Mm,
like, hey, you want to do a radio show, live radio show? Here you go. And I'm not asking for any money or any of that. I'm just asking for some time and commitment.
yeah,
And by us growing the station together, when we do start generating ads and revenue from sponsors and all that, it's for everyone
right,
because we built this together. And
right.
and like you said, also going back to mindset is you can't be the smartest person in the room.
No,
You can never
no.
be the smartest person in the room. That's a problem.
You're going backwards if you are.
Yeah,
Going
that's a
the wrong
problem.
direction.
You need to be in a room where there's people much smarter than you, that have much more information than you,
Yep,
and that's how you grow.
yep.
I
And then
love
you
my
bring
friends. I love my friends that I grew up with and all that, and not all of us think the same.
right.
Some of us are still stuck in what they're, and that's okay. That's their purpose. That's what they want to do. Me, I'm like you. I start surrounding myself around people that have information that I need to learn to grow. And
Yeah,
that's the purpose of this conversation. That's the purpose of any interview I have, is for me to grow and for my listeners to grow as well.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And look, the when you start putting yourself around people that are successful, they look at things completely different than when I looked at them when I was 25 and going out, down here in Mississippi, you go ride four wheelers, drink beer, and hit the creeks. Okay, that's what you did. And so when I was living that way, I didn't get the full understanding of what real entrepreneurship, what real um, money, management, any of that. I didn't get any of that because all I was really studying was drinking beer and riding creeks. And when I started realizing that I need to put myself around other people that were smarter than me, and then understanding that, dang, that was 25 grand. That's a lot of money. But when I understood, man, that 25,000's now made me probably $1 million off of a $25,000 investment because I mean, it's hard to explain. I don't, all
Oh
I
no,
can tell someone,
you ain't gotta worry about how hard it is. Believe me, this is what this podcast is for. We have people. It's a mind. It is about the mindset. It's when you invest in yourself, because
yeah,
that's what I did. Like when I found out this is what I wanted to do, I had a little $160 podcast studio. It was a decent mic, a decent mixer, and that's how I started. But once I found out this is my passion, this is what I want to do, this is my purpose. I invested in a quality mic. I invested in the holy grail for podcasters, which is the Rodecaster Pro.
Yeah.
That was my intro, my outro, all my sound effects, control, and improves my sound so much.
Sure. Sure.
So when I felt that this is what I wanted to do, I felt I needed to invest in myself. I took courses like you've taken courses. I've taken courses on building my YouTube channel, building my audio, t- take classes on editing my podcast,
Mm.
video as well as audio. It's me wanting to grow in what I love to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it's
Absolutely.
also gained me knowledge. So now I can offer my services to other people now.
Yeah.
Now other people can hire me to edit their podcast, and I don't mind doing it because it's something I love to do.
Sure. Sure. Love it. Yeah. That growth creates opportunity. Creates opportunity. And that's the key, man. I mean, invest in yourself. Look, people will tell you, they'll be like, oh, don't go buy this course, or oh, don't go do this, or oh, they're fakes, they're frauds. I guarantee you, it doesn't matter how fake, phony, or fraud they are,
what you
right?
gotta what you gotta ask them is what are you doing? What
Yeah.
exactly is your system? What are you doing?
Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna get a nugget, even if you only get one thing from something that you paid for. That one thing might be the complete change in everything you do.
It
You
might have
know?
been the nugget you needed to hear.
Yeah,
It's probably the key you needed to hear to unlock whatever it is that was holding you back.
that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
And it's same way with books. Listen, I spoke to a guest recently, and we spoke about he's reading multiple books, but not like how you would really think you read through a book. It's like where you would read from end to end. Because let's really like, unless you have a photometric journal, you're not gonna remember the book from end to
Right.
end. But there's always gonna be some chapters that's gonna hit that you're gonna be like, this is me. This is what I really am drawn to. So those are the ones we talk about. People usually highlight those,
Mm,
and so when they need to go back to a book, they know where they can go reference that because they're highlighted.
yeah.
And so these are little tricks and trades that people do when they're learning. And because you're not, like I said, you're not gonna retain everything. But there's gonna be things that resonate with you, that's gonna stick with you.
Yeah.
And that's in with any book, any audio, anything that you use to learn. The only thing that really is gonna stick with you is that those things that really hit you, that like you'd be like, yeah, that right
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
I could apply that to what I'm doing because it applies to me.
Yeah. I'll give you a really good instance about that. So you're talking about mindset. I was I was listening to a guy one day. So I'd been doing a bunch of wholesale deals, wholesales. I was making 5,000 a lick. I was like, okay, bet I'm doing good. 5,000 a deal. I'm doing, I did 36 deals that first year. And did a few others, so hit some bigger ones or whatever. But I there was one thing that kind of stuck out to me big time. Was a guy said he was getting 15,000 per wholesale. And I'm like, man, what is he doing that I'm not? Like, why is he making 15 grand and I'm only making five? And I was like, you know what? I'm about to start making 15,000 a wholesale. I didn't change anything else I did. The only thing I changed was this right here. And I started making 15,000 a wholesale just by saying, you know what, I'm going to make 15,000 a wholesale. I wasn't okay with 5,000 a wholesale anymore. I had some credibility behind me. When I went to a person that I was going to sell the deal to and they tried to G me down, I'd be like, man, just as well as I do, this is a deal. You know, it was all mindset. That's it. And I started making 15 grand a deal. Now, if we hit $100,000 wholesale, it's not something to jump down again for anymore because it's already been there. Now it's kind of one of those things. Now I'm shooting for I want to hit a $500,000 deal. You know?
Yeah, you always that's what it's funny because like you set goals, and when you accomplish these goals, you're like, listen, I kind of hit this. Let me put it up a little more, and put the bar
Yeah,
up a little higher now,
yeah,
and then when you hit that, you just set another one, and then that's just, but that's you. You have to either when you start doing these things, it's because you're still growing and developing. You're still taking the courses. You're still reading the books. You're still you keeping it sharp. You keeping your mind sharp and doing and learning and keeping up with the times, whatever it is. Because there's always something new to
yeah.
learn to help you improve.
Yep. Yep. That's the thing about, that's the thing about business in general is, and especially real estate, is it's cyclical. It's up and down, right? The government, the economy, all that stuff affects it, right? The things that they're doing right now, the war that's going on, whatever, all that crazy stuff, that stuff affects business, good, bad, or otherwise, right? You're either going to ride high or you're going to hit it hard, but it's going to happen. So you have to plan, you have to be up with what's going on, but ultimately, let's be real here, and let's say business dies out or starts. I'm not going to change what I've learned now. I'll just take it and put it into something else, not money. If I go broke, I still know how to go out and do deals. It may not be a real estate deal, it may have to be something completely different. But at this point, what I've learned and my mindset around other people, I can be successful in anything I do because I know now how to make money, how to manage money, how to make money work for me, so on and so forth. I would have never have learned that if I wouldn't have started out watching YouTube videos trying to make life better, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely know what you're talking about, man. You've done it with real estate. I've done it as far as media content and trying to build something here in in the media field and all that. By From the podcast, I started my production company. From there, I launched the radio station. We've published 3 books now.
Mm,
So we've trying to just grow and get all different avenues, and we're working on our YouTube channel right now.
mm.
Well, we have 2 YouTube channels: my YouTube channel for my podcast, and one for the network. And so we're just growing and learning, and it's a great experience because no one is telling us what to do. We don't have to answer if we make mistakes, we learn from them. We don't have somebody ready to fire us
Yeah.
because we made this mistake. No, we
Yeah.
learn from it and we grow.
That's it, man. I tell people all the time, like it still blows my mind that honestly I can have a couple of $100 invested in some marketing to call somebody, and I get them on the phone, I get a house locked up under contract, and then I go to somebody else that has cash and I say, "Hey, I'll sell you this contract." I mean, it blows my mind that you can make $15,000 on a transaction like that in 15 days. And so, like, I tell people all the time, you know, that all you have to do is just get a little bit of knowledge, man. To get a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of work. What that's done, so going through that process and learning that, like just like what you were saying, I started out, just doing wholesale deals. Then I started flipping. Then I started selling to large corporate buyers, hedge funds. And then I started buying on my own buy and holds, rentals. So we have different portfolios from multifamily, single family, mini storages, everything in between, right? But I realized, crap, just like you were saying, I'm just so much of a regular guy. Realistically, I call myself a redneck from Mississippi, you know? Like, how in the heck did I do this? I've got to show somebody else. I've got to tell somebody else, And so I started building out a course because I want somebody else to know that they can do it just as well as I can, right? We built out a Podio system that runs all of our leads and acquisitions come through. So my team here in the office, they run all of our systems through our Podio system. Well, I've already built that tool out. I spent 15, 20 grand on a Podio system. Why can't I sell that to somebody for $3,500? They ain't got to spend that kind of money, and so just like you were saying, man, it just compounds. It just compounds.
Yeah. It's like a snowball effect. Once you start growing, it's just
Yeah.
keep going and going and going, man. has definitely been for like I started at the right as soon as I got furloughed from my job, but I had already had the equipment for over a year. It was just me not using it, me
Sure.
not putting it to for what I had it for the use. And so when I got furloughed from work, I had to do something. And so yeah, I had a honey to do list. The wife had me doing things around the house. We redid the kitchen, whatever we did, and I was like, man, I need to find something for me to do. Like I need to find something for me. And I was like, you know what? Record. Let me just hit record. And I just started recording and it just started growing.
Yeah.
And when like I've always been into sports. I'm a big sports guy. I grew up playing sports and all that in New York City and all that. And so I've never found myself to be the artsy creative type. But when I started podcasting, I kind of realized that I'm the artsy creative type. And so it's been just a blessing to be able to really to discover myself and kind of be able to be myself on my podcast, but just to be me.
Yeah.
It's not about me trying to be anyone else. I'm here to have great conversations. Hopefully people out there listening can gain something from it, and hopefully the guests have a good time while they're here.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So now it's time where you just plug away. Just share everything you got, man. Instagram, whatever, Facebook, your website, everything.
Oh yeah, man. That's great. So so I just got on TikTok probably, I guess 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago,
So
maybe.
your TikToks, are they funny? Do you make funny TikToks or do you make informative TikToks?
Both. So, all right. So I'm a little bit. No, I'm not just a little bit heavy. My butt's fat. Okay, and I'm okay with
Listen,
that.
I'm with you, man.
Yeah. All right. So
I'm 6'1", 285. So
okay, okay. All right. So I was in Lake Tahoe. I went to a mastermind again. Spent money on myself. Go down there to Lake Tahoe, meet some people. I learned one thing there that actually almost completely changed my whole business model just because I went there. Right. But anyway, so we're there and there's a group of guys and we're playing ping pong. And I like ping pong. Like I'm pretty good at ping pong. But there's this other dude and he was pretty good at ping pong. So I told him, I was like, all right, whoever loses has to take the shirt off and go jump in the snow. Well, my fat butt lost. And so I gotta go jump in the snow. So anyway, that was actually I think my second TikTok ever was my fat butt belly busting in the snow there in Lake Tahoe. So yeah, I like to have fun. I enjoy myself, but it is also informative. So here lately, what I've been doing is, I'll put out something like, "What's an LLC?" Okay, what is it? What is it for? Um, what happens? If it's another '08 crash happens, like just general stuff, like anything and everything relevant to real estate. I'm doing that, and so I post on TikTok. I don't even know what my TikTok handle is, but I post on TikTok and then I'm on Instagram, so you can catch me there at bearded_investor. Um, and then I do a lot on Facebook, so I'm pretty heavy on Facebook. I'm a little bit older, and I think that's just who I am. So my TikTok's at bearded_investor Sean. Okay.
okay.
Um, but I do a lot on Facebook. I post a lot of stuff. Like I had one on mindset. I think it was Saturday morning about really you're wasting your time setting goals. And what I mean by that is setting goals sucks. Like get a goal, write it down. That's highly beneficial because then you have a goal. But don't set a goal. What you do once you write that goal down is you then look at, now how in the hell am I going to meet that goal? How do I get there? What do I do? And then put incremental steps into getting to that goal. I achieve this and I achieve this and I achieve this. Don't set goals. New Year's resolutions, they're worth throwing in the wind, right? It's small things to look at. Who am I around? What are they doing? What are the people that where I want to be? What do they do on a daily basis? Okay, I'm going to take what they do and I'm going to apply it to what I'm going to do to get to my goal. Anyway, so I do that. I do a lot of free content, man. I post every day. Every day I've got something on one of those social media platforms. I'm Sean O'Rourke on social media. I also have a Facebook page. It's called 90 Days to Escape Your 9 to 5. I put stuff in there every day on just various different real estate things to try to help people there. And then I also have a course. So I have a real estate course that teaches people how to wholesale from soup to nuts. And there's various different avenues you can do there. You can do the one where it's completely virtual, and I've got almost 100 videos step by step that are 4 to 8 minutes long that just kind of say, okay, whatever you need to know how to write a contract out. Here's a contract and here's how to do it, step by step, how to market, whatever. And you can take that at your own pace if you wanted to, or you can go all out and get on a phone call with me, and I'll have 16 1-hour phone calls with you, and we'll walk through deals, whatever the case may be. I just want to help people, so that's what I do there. That's the name of that course is the same things as Facebook, which is 90 Days to Escape Your 9 to 5. And it basically takes you step by step how I quit my job, how I quit my 9 to 5. And the website there is highperformanceedu.com. So highperformanceedu, like education.com, is that website. That's about it. I like the free stuff. I like giving out free content. My course isn't no $10,000 course, nothing crazy like that. It's relatively inexpensive because I really, more than anything, I just want to help people.
No, and no, it's great because you're absolutely right. There's people that can't afford the $10,000 courses.
That's right.
There's people that can't afford the $1,000 courses.
Yep. And
then there's courses out there for you though. There's courses out there that fit your budget. If it's a couple of $100, whatever it is, it's something. It's going out there and seeking some type of knowledge to help you improve in whatever the field that you want to do with.
That's right.
So I encourage people to take courses.
Yeah.
I take courses all the time. And that's me learning and growing in what I want to improve in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, definitely, man. I'm definitely going to share the descriptions in the link share the links in the description, and definitely people definitely check your websites out and check all your social media. And it's been great having you on. Yeah,
man, I appreciate you having me on. I've really enjoyed it.
All right, but don't leave just yet. We're going to talk a little bit after the recording. All right. So now it's time for shout outs. Big shout outs to the Real Wise fam, Poppy J, Brandy J. Love you guys. Big shout out to the boss lady Fina. Love you, baby. Big shout out to Sean O'Rourke for coming through. Great having him on. And as always, a big shout out to all the essential workers out there. God bless y'all. Be safe. You know your boy Wise does it. Peace out.
Thanks for listening. Listen on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, and TuneIn. Find us on social media on Twitter at @wise_b_blunt, Instagram at @wise_b_blunt, and a Facebook fan page, www.facebook.com/wise76. Check back soon for new episodes. Until next time, peace out.